Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another Instant Deck Tech. So as you know, Thursday means it's Fishbowl Thursday here in Instant Deck Tech land, and we have some spice for Modern to check out today. This is Waste Not, coming to us from Malik T. So thank you very much, Malik, for sending in a super sweet deck. If you want your own deck considered for Fishbowl Thursday, feel free to drop me a link and an email, saffronolive@mtggoldfish.com. Can also leave your link in the comments to this video. Either way works. Anyway, let's break down Waste Not for Modern from Malik T. So Waste Not is a really interesting enchantment. 2 mana, which is pretty cheap, and it does a whole bunch of things whenever an opponent discards a card. So when our opponent discards a card, if it's a creature, we get a 2/2 zombie token. Pretty sweet. If it's a land, we add 2 mana, so kind of like a Dark Ritual type effect. And if it's a non-creature, non-land, we get to draw a card. So while we can't really control the results of Waste Not too much, no matter what's happening, it's pretty powerful. Getting creatures is good, adding mana lets us cast more spells and more discard spells, and drawing cards keeps us churning through our deck and finding more pieces. Our backup finisher for our discard-based deck is Liliana's Caress. So while Waste Not can close out the game with the 2/2 zombies, Liliana's Caress does it really directly. 2 mana enchantment. When an opponent discards a card, that player loses 2 life. So if we can get an opponent to discard 10 cards across the course of the game, or maybe even all in one turn if things go well, we're going to be able to kill them on the spot by making them lose 20 life with Liliana's Caress. So these 2 enchantments are the focal point of the deck. So we're built around making our opponent discard, and when our opponent discards cards, good things happen for us. A whole bunch of various things, but every single one of them are good. So how are we making our opponent discard? We start off with the pretty typical stuff. Inquisition of Kozilek, Thoughtseize, 1 mana. We get to choose what our opponent discards, which is kind of nice. We can't make our opponent discard lands with Inquisition or Thoughtseize, so we can't get the extra mana, but we can kind of choose in some situations. If we want a creature, we can make them discard a creature. If we want to draw a card, we can get rid of a non-creature, non-land. But these cards come down early in the game, make sure our opponent doesn't have anything to disrupt our plan, and gives us a 1 mana way to keep triggering our Waste Nots and our Liliana's Caresses. The problem is, and this problem is true of any discard-based deck that's using things like Liliana's Crest and Waste Not, is if our opponent doesn't have any cards in hand, we can't actually make them discard cards. But we have a solution to that problem. So when we get our opponent empty-handed, we have 2 different cards that actually still trigger our Liliana's Crest and our Waste Not. So Burning Inquiry is the best. 1 mana, each player draws 3 cards and discards 3 cards. So in our deck, what this is 1 mana, trigger Waste Not 3 times, trigger Liliana's Crest 3 times. That's 6 loss of life. We're drawing cards, we're getting zombies, we're adding mana. So it is insanely strong in this deck, and it works even if our opponent has 0 cards in hand, because it makes them draw the cards first. The other option we have is Wistful Thinking. Not as powerful as Burning Inquiry, but it makes our opponent draw 2 cards. Well, I mean, we could target ourselves, but it's here to target our opponent. Make our opponent draw 2 cards, and then discard 4 cards. So it's actually card disadvantage. If our opponent's empty-handed, we're still getting 2 Liliana's Crest triggers, 2 Waste Not triggers, but if they have some cards in hand, it's a way we get 4 triggers for just 3 mana, which is a ton of value. So once we get some Waste Nots and Liliana's Caresses on the battlefield, get things set up with our Inquisitions and our Thoughtseizes, we just want to be casting as many Burning Inquiries and Wistful Thinkings as possible, and we can kind of almost even storm off with our Waste Nots and Liliana's Caresses. We also have a couple of cards that allow us to get card advantage based on our opponent's discarding. Dream Salvage is super sweet. If for just a single mana, lets us draw cards equal to the number of cards our opponent discarded this turn. So that means if we cast a Burning Inquiry, Dream Salvage is a literal Ancestral Recall. 1 mana, draw 3. And it gets better from there. If we cast 2 Burning Inquiries, we're drawing 6 cards for 1 mana. It just gets super out of control really easily. So this is a way we can refuel and potentially win in 1 turn by just chaining together Burning Inquiries and whatnot. We also have Noxious Revival. So one of the tricks we can do is cast our Burning Inquiries, Noxious Revival to put the Burning Inquiry back on top top of our deck, which means when we cast our Dream Salvage, we know we're drawing another Burning Inquiry, and then we're able to hit our opponent for even more damage, get more zombies, make more mana, draw more cards with our Waste Not. So it's really key to be able to get back our most important cards in the mid to late game as we're like comboing off with Dream Salvage and discards and Waste Nots. Otherwise, we got a bunch of removal. Pyroclasm, Anger of the Gods to sweep away creatures in the early game. Damnation just to take care of all creatures, no matter what, for a little bit more mana. Serum Visions helps us set things up, find our Waste Nots, find our Liliana's Cresses, find our Burning Inquiries, whatever we need. And then we have some Blood Moons as just a free win card. So we just slam down the Blood Moon. Our opponent's going to have a hard time casting stuff, buys us a lot of time to set up our combo kill. In the mana base, we have a bunch of fetch lands, searching up a bunch of dual lands, but the big reason for all the fetch lands is since we're playing Blood Moon, we got to make sure we can fetch out our islands and our swamps so we can still cast our Waste Nots, still cast our important spells, even through a Blood Moon. So use your fetches to find your basics first if you're on the Blood Moon plan. As far as the sideboard, the bit of spice we have is Death Shadow, so we have all those fetches, which means we can kind of get our life total pretty low. We also have Thoughtseize that makes us lose life, so if our opponent sideboards by taking out Fatal Pushes and creature removal, because we don't have any real creatures in the main deck, just the zombie tokens, we can bring in Death Shadow, make ourselves lose a bunch of life, and just beat our opponent down with a huge Death Shadow. Otherwise, Echoing Truth, kind of a catch-all bounce spell, Relic of Progenitus for graveyards, which is really important in our deck because remember, we're making our opponent discard cards. So if our opponent wants cards in the graveyard, Burning Inquiry and so forth can actually be helping them, which means Relic is really key to making sure we're not getting dredged out or snapcastered out by our own discard spells. Finally, Leyline of Sanctity for protection against combo, Defense Grid to fight through counter spells primarily, so we can go on this one big turn where we cast a whole bunch of spells and just kill our opponent with Waste Not and Liliana's Caress. And that is Waste Not from Malik T, and that's our Fishbowl Thursday instant deck tech for this week. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.